Hey guys, my name is Tristan and thank you for stopping by Radical Passion. We are a vlog ministry based out of the Dalles, Oregon, and we're just a group of young adults who have a passion for living for God radically and also a radical passion for people. Today I'm just going to share with you just a small devotional just for my personal time with God, and it's just a verse that I feel He's put in my heart. It's sort of like a life verse for this stage in my life, so I want to share that with you guys. The verse is actually in Numbers, which is kind of funny because I always thought that my favorite books of the Bible were Corinthians and Hebrews and Romans and stuff like that, but this verse that really speaks to me is actually in Numbers, which I always kind of thought that the Exodus and Deuteronomy and Numbers were kind of boring because they had all the law stuff, but when I read this it was just like wow, and it really just God kind of put it into my heart as like a kind of a standard and kind of showing where I am, God, and the power that we have too. So we're going to start in actually Numbers chapter 16 verse 43, and the verse actually that we're going to talk about is 48, but I'll get a little background in there. So at this point Moses and Aaron are interceding for the people of Israel because they are just disobeying God like so much, and He has said to them so many times, just don't disobey me, I'm going to have to destroy you and destroy the people because it's just so sinful and bad, and He said that a couple of times, quite a few times, and Moses and Aaron just go on their face before the Lord and they intercede for the people of Israel, and even though God says I'm going to destroy them because there's no good in them, Moses and Aaron say please don't have mercy on them, and they intercede for those people, and it just kind of shows how our prayers are heard even if we don't feel like they're heard. Sometimes there's times when we don't know people are praying for us, and other times when we're praying for people and we don't necessarily see the fruits of those prayers. I have dogs and they're making weird noises. Guys! Shh! And sometimes we don't see the fruits of those prayers right away, or we don't see them in the way we want, or we don't see them in our timing, but God does answer those prayers even if the answer is no. At this point Moses and Aaron are interceding for the people, and it's the last time, and they've just disobeyed so many times. So we're starting up in verse 43. Moses and Aaron stood at the front of the tent of meeting. God spoke to Moses, "Back away from this congregation so that I can do away with them this very minute." They threw themselves face down on the ground. Moses said to Aaron, "Take your censer and fill it with incense, along with the fire from the altar. Get to the congregation as fast as you can and make atonement for them. Anger is pouring out from God. The plague has started." Aaron grabbed the censer as directed by Moses and ran into the midst of the congregation. The plague had already begun. He put burning incense into the censer and atoned for the people. And this is verse 48. He stood there between the living and the dead and stopped the plague. And it just like sends shivers down my spine. It probably doesn't, maybe, I don't know, but that's just so crazy. That is just so crazy how God can use people to atone for people's sins, and that power, it's physically, we're not stopping a physical plague usually, but spiritually it's definitely a plague, and many of us Christians have the answers, and we don't even realize that people are dying of a plague every day, and we have that answer, we have that antidote, and we literally stand between living and dead, and we walk in that place, and we may not see it, and they may not be dead on the outside, but inside spiritually they might be dead, black and dead. And what a calling, what an intense calling that we have that antidote, that we stand between the living and the dead. And so that's just where God's called me to be at this moment, personally and in ministry. I just want to walk with the knowledge that I do have the antidote, and I don't want to keep it to myself. I really don't want to keep it to myself, and having a mind that's focused on the people who need it. Like, a lot of times it's very easy for us to just focus on ourselves and focus on me and my plan, and we lose sight of God's plan, and we make our story my story, and we forget that this isn't our story, this is God's story, and we lose opportunities, and we just don't see them in His perspective. So that's pretty much my life verse for right now, and I hope that blesses you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day, and remember to stop back by and see some of the other Radical Passion vlog ministers, and I will talk to you guys later.